Welcome back, Right Side Broadcasting, to day 2 of CPAC 2021 America Uncanceled, live from Dallas, Texas. I'm Grace Saldana, and I'm here joined by America's favorite congressman, Matt Gaetz.
Well, if I'm America's favorite congressman, Right Side is becoming America's favorite news network. This has become my obsession ever since the Sarasota rally, where we were out there in the rain, bathing in the America First love and energy that President Trump is bringing to the country. That crowd reacted to Right Side Broadcasting in such an enthusiastic way, and it shows you guys are getting the truth to people. And that's one of the things that we got to focus on as a movement on the political right. Breaking through the cancel culture, breaking through the censorship, the hold on our ideas and communications that big tech has. Right Side Broadcasting's making it happen. And I think in Congress, we should embrace more policies that encourage free speech and that get diverse opinions out in front of the American people. Because if we get our ideas out there, we're going to win more elections. It's largely been the left's unity of purpose with big media and big government that has created challenges for us.
Absolutely. It's time for conservatives to unite around these issues that affect us all, especially like big tech censorship, which is the theme of this conference. So what have you seen at CPAC? Do you feel any different energy going into the upcoming midterms?
You know, in CPAC's past, there was this neo-libertarian view that we just needed government to back off of everything and everything would be okay. What I'm hearing from people today is that they want to see big tech busted up. Not just, with some soft sanding around the edges, but to literally force, Facebook to divest of Instagram, YouTube to separate from Google. And if we did those things, we would have a better marketplace of ideas. So there's a new populism in the conservative movement, and that's really what CPAC's all about, defining the ideas that will animate our activists, our candidates, and ultimately our voters. And what I sense now is that the impact that President Trump had on our party is an enduring one. We're not going back to the days of the Cheneys and the Romneys and the Bushes. This is Donald Trump's party, and I see that same passion for the America First agenda throughout this entire conference.
You were one of the most loyal America First congressmen. So we really appreciate that your loyalty to the movement, because that's what's most important here and what viewers want to see and what attendees at CPAC want to see. So how do you recommend, I've been asking everyone this, how do you recommend we break up big tech?
I would force these companies to divest of their assets. I would not just sort of nibble around the edges as some Republicans would prefer. I would force a separation, a structural separation of these companies, much in the way AT&T was separated. You look at the people who run these major platforms, Zuckerberg, Sundar Pichai at Google, Bezos, Tim Cook, they're more powerful than Rockefeller and Carnegie and Vanderbilt by far. They're more powerful than most of the governments that have ever existed in all of human time. So I view big tech kind of like the Death Star. We got to shoot at them with everything we have legislatively and from a regulatory standpoint. And then I think we will have not just a First Amendment on paper, but we will have a culture of free speech in America.
Absolutely. And we also need freedom of thought and expression. And that's something that Florida is taking head on and with critical race theory. So we need to get that out of our education system. So are you helping to fight for that?
Absolutely, and I am on the Armed Services Committee where we've seen these generals at the Pentagon go totally woke.
Yes.
I want a military that kills our enemies and breaks their stuff, not that sits around pontificating the nature of white rage and white fragility, right? I think that we have seen critical race theory injected into multiple layers of our government. We have to diagnose it, identify it, and remove it like the cancer it truly is. And, if I could make another comment about how to get more of our leaders around the America First movement,
right.
We have got to separate ourselves from the lobbyists and the political action committees that seem to run Washington no matter which party wins elections. At CPAC 2 years ago, I became the first Republican to swear off donations from federal lobbyists and PACs, the very
That's
first
incredible.
one to do that. And I think that if we're powered by the people and not the special interests, we will be a more motivating and inspirational movement for our fellow Americans to join.
Absolutely. So what message do you have for RSBN viewers who may feel a little disenfranchised about the upcoming, or about elections in general and what we saw happen in 2020? What can we see happen until midterms?
I would say we need you. There have been great times of challenge and peril in America's past, but we've always found patriots to rise to the challenge and to ensure that we pass on a greater nation to the next generation. And so we need folks to step up and train on how to be election monitors so that we don't see the type of fraud, for example, that we saw in Fulton County or that we saw in Detroit, Michigan. And whether that fraud is enough to shape an election, it is unquestionably an erosion of the republic that we want to present to the rest of the world as a model that everyone would want to strive for. So we need people to train as operatives, as electioneering experts, join your local groups and organizations that are getting the message out, and not just a kind of generic Republican message from my standpoint. I really think Donald Trump led a realignment in our country where the Republicans no longer stood for invading every foreign land and inviting every illegal alien across our border. The Republican Party became pro-worker on immigration and trade, and then pro-business on taxes and regulation. And if we do that, America's greatest days are still ahead, but we need patriots to join in that movement and never surrender to a sense of disillusionment.
That's such a powerful message, and thanks for encouraging everyone out there who might feel like they need to stay home and not vote, because that is the most concerning thing that I'm seeing on the conservative side, and we can't do that, because if we do that, we forfeit all the future elections to the left.
Well, and we have to love our country more than we are frustrated with our current leaders. And trust me, I work with these people. I'm frustrated with them all the time, but we have to use that for progress, and we have to make a promise of a better future to our fellow Americans, and we will never achieve that if we retreat from the battlefield. The battle is calling us now to debate and engage and organize, and I'm here for it.
Awesome. So how can people support your campaign?
Great. Folks can go to mattgaetz.com. And again, because I don't take money from lobbyists or PACs, folks that join our list will be up to date on key legislative issues, key political opportunities. And I am excited about being one of the younger leaders in the Congress to work alongside other great America First leaders like Florida Governor Ron DeSantis to make sure that our legacy of America First is an enduring one.
Well, we look forward to seeing you reelected in August 2022. So thank you so much for coming on.
All right. Thank you.